Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Bobo and Friends podcast, episode 11. Remember to like or subscribe. Um, Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment. Um, Constructive criticism is always welcomed. I am here with my co-host, Derek. What's going on, man?
Great, great. Everything is good, man. Great weekend. Hot, but good.
Well, I'm glad you finally got with me today. I know I was planning on doing this about 45 minutes ago and I was waiting on you, but you was busy.
I
Trying to
was.
figure out
Indeed.
I was trying to figure out what was more important than, doing this podcast with your boy.
Hey, you gonna stay my boy. We gonna stay boys, but like I told you privately, it couldn't be helped. Better late than never. That's what I
Right,
say. Better
right.
late than never, brother.
So I was checking out some World Cup this weekend. I just I honestly was a little bored, looking for something to do or something to look at Saturday and watched about a game or two. Didn't get a chance to on Sunday. Spent time with the family, so didn't get a chance to check out any games on Sunday. But I did check out two games on Saturday.
Okay.
So, man, I like it. You know,
Okay.
I wish it was a little more scoring though. I mean, I'm not a big soccer fan. I'm not even going to
Right.
think I am, but it would have been nice to see some more goals scored. You know, it was a lot of 1-1, 0-0,
Yeah.
1-0. You know, the shootout was 3-3.
Wow. Wow.
I believe that was Spain. I think that's who Ronaldo plays for. I believe he had 3 goals.
I do know that much. It is Spain, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I took that in this weekend, and I plan to watch some more games, especially as it heats up. And it was announced right before World Cup that the 2026 World Cup will actually take place. Uh, it's basically in North America. It's
Right. Canada, it's a few places involved in that, I believe.
well, Canada, Mexico, and the United States.
Right.
I think Mexico gets 10 games, Canada gets 2 games, and the U.S. get the remaining games. I believe it's 60 something games in all. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so the U.S. is going to get like 40 games. And I actually was looking up the sites, and it's going to be all over the U.S.
You think it'll come locally where you? Well, not where you. I don't know.
There will be games played in Dallas and Houston.
Nice. I wonder if Jacksonville is going to get it because of the
No,
stadium. And no.
no, Orlando is hosting,
Wow.
and I want to say Miami as well.
Okay.
So it is in Florida, but it's
Better tourist spot.
it's
Better
going to be
tourist
games
spot.
in Denver, San Francisco. There's going to be a lot of soccer games all over the U.S. Man, I mean, one thing I like about it is how excited the countries are that are participating in the World Cup. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal for the U.S. as it is in.
It is huge everywhere. In fact, if you want to get into a comparison, I was reading something the other day, and they were talking about how what we got for the Super Bowl, they get for soccer the views, they get that for one regular season game. That's how intense soccer is around the country. What we got for the Super Bowl, that's what they get for like maybe a regular season game. The views we got. Yeah, I you know, and talking to people that don't live here, knowing people that don't live in the States, hear them talk, it is very much so a global sport, more so than it is here. Like when you talk football, most people think of soccer and they think that is the better sport. But viewership wise, they get Super Bowl numbers, bro, for on a regular season game. That is crazy. That
So
is crazy.
so why do you think the U.S. Struggles in international soccer?
Honestly, I don't know if we put into it what we put into our other sports. I
I
mean,
think
I
that's
know
exactly what it is. Our best athletes
are in
more
baseball,
concerned.
basketball, football.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, nobody really. Y'all excuse my cat in the background. It's time for them to eat, but they're gonna have to wait. But um, yeah, that's where we're putting it at. You know what I'm saying? In the other sports, that's where we're putting it at.
Yeah. I would like for the U.S. to.
I would like for them to at least represent well. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Um, but I don't know if you'll ever have the interest here enough for them to, you know, have that kind of.
Well, I think the interest will be there if they're more competitive. You know, I mean,
That's true. That's true.
um, especially this time of year. I mean, not to put baseball out there. I love baseball, but um, a lot of majority of the baseball fans are older individuals.
Right.
Baseball does not attract the younger crowds, right? Um, and I mean, just like the Olympics, I mean, it only comes around once every 4 years. We tune into that stuff. I
Right.
love the Summer Olympics. I mean, even though they have soccer in the Olympics, but this is, I mean, the way they cover it is just as popular as the Olympics, and it comes at the right time when we only have one major sport playing. You know,
Yeah.
and it's the least popular of the three major sports. I mean, I say four if you even want to throw in hockey in the mix.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would hope that eventually we can compete more and have better showings, even just make the darn World Cup. I mean, we're not even representing. We're not even there this year.
Right.
We couldn't even qualify. So, we'll see what happens. As time goes on. Hopefully, things will change.
Right.
So, last time we talked, we had to be
Right before game
game
four.
three. I think it was game three or maybe game four of the NBA Finals.
Yeah, it
Um,
was right before game four, I believe we talked. I don't think we came together yet after game four.
okay. So, man, um, so what do you think? Let's say George Hill makes that free throw at the end of game one, puts the Cavaliers up by one. Golden State gets an opportunity to, take one last shot.
Mm-hmm.
They miss it, and Cleveland walks away with a game one victory.
I think mentally it brings a whole different complexion to the series. Because first of all, had they won it, I think had they won it and overcame him missing the free throws, that would have been even better. You know what I'm saying? Had they gotten to overtime and actually won the game in spite of the refs, that would have been even better. But to your point, to your question, I think it would have done something mentally for them. Where would it have changed the outcome of the series? No, because I still think the Warriors were a far superior team. Uh, all that being said, but I think it would have helped mentally. There would have been more fight. It would have been a lot more competitive, I believe. Because I think once that happened, I think mentally they were toast, man. They were toast. They never recovered from that. I don't think, honestly.
Well, I agree with that last part. Actually, I agree with both parts actually. But I will say this: I don't. I still think it would have been. I still think Golden State probably would have ran off four more victories, and it would have been over in five.
That's what I'm saying. The outcome wouldn't
Even
have
if,
changed. It still would have
even
been a
if,
5-game series.
even if Cleveland had pulled it out, and the reason why I say that is Golden State came out in game two as if they lost game one. Everything they did wrong in game one, they made the necessary adjustments as if they lost. So I think that it still would have been I think it still would have been over in 5.
Yeah.
I was disappointed with LeBron. Just in my opinion, he just checked out.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Like game 4, ridiculous. Literally, I believe he knew it, dude. He knew it. I'm telling you, I think when we talked about this privately, he had given a press conference, and I'm telling you, it sounded like a concession speech. I swear it did. If you listen to some of the stuff he said, you can't make mistakes. You have to play intelligently, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he went on and on. And
I think that was after game 2, I believe. That wasn't after game 1, was it?
No. It was in between game 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
It was in between game 3 and 4. It was almost if he knew. It was almost if he knew, like, dude, I'm going to do the best I can, but we up against it, man. We need it. I mean, he knew the value of getting game 1 would have done. You could tell just listening to how he talked, like, dude, we needed that game. They had to have it, bro. They had to have it. And he checked out. I think he was like, bro, I did what I can do. And, we have to do it. It was very anticlimactic, man. Climactic. I watched it with great boredom, to be quite honest with you. I'm watching this and trying not to change the channel, and I'm like, oh God, this is gonna be bad. And it was. It went as I predicted it would. I think I called a sweep. I said that they had no shot.
Actually, you said gentleman's sweep, just so we could.
A gentleman's sweep. I did mention a gentleman's sweep, and it would have been, had they won game 1, it would have been a gentleman's sweep. I did mention that, but it still went as most people predicted. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody's surprised about the outcome of that series.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I mean they wasn't supposed to beat that team. Let's just face it.
No.
That's why I listened to this clip on social media last week, and it was actually you haven't seen the new Avengers movie yet, have you?
No, but I got bad reviews.
Okay, I won't bring it up then. I'll have to save it for later.
Did you see it already?
Of course, I saw it.
I mean, just real quick. I mean, I haven't seen it, but my son Isaac wants to see it. But what did you?
Oh, I liked it. I liked it.
You liked it? Okay. That's I mean, you ain't got to give nothing away, but I'm just saying, like, I did. As a quick aside, I did buy Black Panther. I don't know if I told you that, and I'm actually going to sit down and watch that. We bought that the other day.
Well, I actually got Black Panther on Blu-ray as a Father's Day gift from the kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it on Blu-ray. We got it on Blu-ray like last week, and we're watching it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure which one I like better. I think I like Black Panther better than Avengers, the new Avengers. But that's not taking anything away. But I was gonna make bring up a comparison using that movie, but I'm not. I'll save it. Hopefully, I'll save it for when you've seen it, so you'll understand.
Okay.
Where I'm coming from. But getting back to it, man. I just don't know. I was just kind of. I would have liked to see. I see why the individuals who can't stand to hear LeBron's name being mentioned as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, type conversation, without going too far into that. How he responded, in my opinion, backs up there. The individuals who want to throw up in their mouth when they hear it,
And I'm one of them. And I will say this. And I said I wasn't going to debate it, and I'm not. And I was talking to my best friend about this. People are quick to throw up his stats. They're quick to throw up his stats. But to me, when you're the greatest of all time, it's more about your performance in the moments that matter. I watched a 3-minute clip of Game 6 between Michael Jordan and the Utah Jazz, the final game that he ever played in Chicago. That should tell you everything. The dude scored the last points in that 3 minutes. All of the points. He showed up big when it mattered. And I'm going to leave it at this. It's not always about stats. To me, determining somebody's greatness is not always about their stats. And I think a lot of LeBron people are getting caught up on the stats and the fact that he went to 8, 9 finals in a whatever, 8 finals in a row. Great. That's all good. But I will say, if you look at performances, I don't think there was anybody better in the clutch than Michael Jordan. When it mattered the most, I don't think there was anybody better. And I'm going to leave it at that.
I agree with that. But I do feel the stats, I feel they matter. And especially when it comes to LeBron, because every night, I mean, first of all, he's never been hurt. He's never been sidelined for a long period of time as far as missing games, right? I mean, Mike
he broke his foot
with a broken leg his second year, right? So that, the fact that he does it all, he can average almost 30 points a game, get 9 rebounds, and he can give you 10 assists if you need to. And that's something no one at that level has done for that long period of a time. You know what I mean? So
I feel you.
So I think that's why everybody is gonna gravitate to his stats. Now, my thing is those individuals wanna count the rings, right? But to me, the rings are that's a team effort. That's not an individual effort. No one wins a title by themselves.
Right, but again, and I said I wasn't gonna go down this rabbit hole, but we are already there now. But we're not really arguing. We're not arguing the greatest. We're arguing the stats. But again, in the moments when it mattered the most, I will say, and we both witnessed it. We were both watching basketball at the time. If you had to pick somebody that you wanted in a moment when it mattered the most, void of stats. Now, let's forget about the fact that he can go get it whenever he wanted to. Basically, LeBron can go get it whenever he want to get it. You know what I mean? He's that kind of player. Nobody's denying it. He can get it whenever he want to get it. But if you had to be forced to pick somebody that you wanted when in the clutch, when it mattered the most, who you gonna pick, man? When it matters the most.
Okay, if you're telling me I got to pick somebody in the fourth quarter of a game or a game 7, yeah, I'll take Mike.
Of course.
But
of course,
if you're telling me if I get to start a team and I get to pick anyone in history to start my team with,
of course you're gonna pick.
I would probably take LeBron.
Of course you are. Of course you are. And I mean, that's cool. But
I mean, why? What do you mean by "of course you are"? What does that mean?
That means, as you're a fan of Cleveland. You're also a fan of LeBron. You also look at what he does. If you go by what he does only, yes, that's why I say, of course, you're going to pick him. If you go by the things that he can do,
see, I got a problem with you telling me there. You basically saying I have a bias.
You do.
No, I don't. Eric, he's not better than Mike.
We know this.
He is not better than Mike. Oh, no, we agree. I'm glad we agree, right?
Right, we agree on that.
Okay, and just to recap on my childhood, the earliest NBA game I remember is the 89 Game 5 Craig Elo game, right?
Okay.
And I was heartbroken.
I'm sure, as many Cleveland fans were.
I hated Jordan ever since, until I'm gonna say about 4 or 5 years ago when I watched that game 6, his last game in that NBA Finals in '98. And what really threw me off was, or made me really think about it, is I remember watching that game when the day it took place. I know exactly where I was at, where I was sitting, what I was thinking. I remember everything, right?
Yeah.
And I remember just hating Jordan. I remember hating him and was hoping that they would not win that game. And when I watched it, I had a totally different perspective on it. I watched it, I was like, wow. Look at what he just did. I said, I can't believe I was hating on that when I was 20 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I was doing in 1998. I was a Jordan hater. But now I was like, and I mean, for him to he scores the points. Utah still had a 1-point lead with 40 something seconds left, and he's stripping the ball from Karl
Malone. Him and Rob, yeah.
He saw it. He was like, they about to go to their bread and butter. Malone in the post. As soon as Malone got the ball, he left Hornacek. He didn't trail Hornacek. He swats the ball out, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying?
And Bob Costas kept saying he's running on fumes, and he was tired. He had 40 freaking 5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
but when I say,
my point is that when I look back on there, I recognize Jordan for his greatness. You know what I'm saying? My thing is they're two totally different players. First of all, they don't
play the same position.
They were totally two different players, so it's hard to really compare them. My whole thing is everybody wants to go, he was 6-0 in the finals. I'm like, no, the Bulls were 6-0 in the finals.
But he was part of the Bulls.
I know that. I get that. I get that. No doubt. But what I'm saying is that's more of a team thing than an individual thing. Yes, he has 6 rings. Every championship winner does. They do in fact get a ring. But all I'm saying is,
but you could say the same thing about 8 trips to the finals in a row.
Okay.
You could say the same thing about that. If you want to throw that out there, you could
say. But the thing with him is, what makes it so remarkable with that is he did it with 2 different teams. He's a constant. You see what I'm saying? Now, if Jordan didn't take a 2-year, 18-month hiatus from basketball, it might have been 8 straight for the Bulls. Who knows, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been. I don't think nobody would have tripped up the Bulls in the Eastern Conference in that those 2 seasons. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, and heck, it might have been 8 straight titles for all we know. We obviously will never know. But I'm just taking exception to when I tell you, where I favor LeBron. You're like, of course you would.
But I didn't mean it like no, of course. No, when I said of course you would, I didn't mean it like of course you would. That's LeBron.
No, but that's what you said. That's what you said, Derek. That's what you said.
I know that's what I said. But what I'm saying is, of course you would, because most people think he is a better player than Michael Jordan.
All right, I want you to take
most people.
I'll move on once you take it back.
Take what back?
Your comment.
Oh God.
I'm messing with you, man. Don't worry about it.
I wasn't gonna take it back anyway. No, but I believe most people they think that he's a better player. I don't think he's a better competitor than Michael Jordan. He may have been a better player if you really want to break it down and you want to really go about the stats. Yeah, you might want to say he might be the greatest. Not the greatest. He might be a better player.
No,
but I don't think
he's definitely not a better competitor.
No, he's not. And that press conference, and I want to touch on that. That press conference after Game 4 just proves it.
Oh,
just proves it.
So tell me how. Tell me more, Derek. Why? How does that prove it?
Dude, first of all, you come out there with what is it? A soft, not a cast, but a soft something on your hand. You don't mention it until after the fact. It sounds like you're making excuses. I don't care what nobody says. It sounds like you're making excuses. Well, I basically played with a broke hand. You know what I'm saying? That's really, I think, what does it. It's just like one of those things. It's like, oh God, I can't believe you would bring that up now. Why would you bring that up now? And then, I get that you are emotional, but even if you did do this, why? Like, that didn't make, like, I know you was hot. I know you was, tan on the tail stuff, but like, dude, you just cost, if that is the case, you just may have cost your team, even though you might have played well in Game 2, you just may have cost your team an opportunity, trying to play with that broke hand. Why wasn't that brought out? I guess my question is, why wasn't that brought out while he was
Well, the story is that they didn't want Golden State to gain a competitive advantage by knowing that he had a hand injury. So they did their best to conceal it.
But I would have more respect for you though, bro, if you came out and let that be known way before the series was over. Now that it's a foregone conclusion, all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is what should have happened. What he should have did was he shouldn't have wore that thing around his hand in the press conference.
True.
He should have, because here's my thing. If you play 3 games without this cast on, you can sit through a press conference without that cast on a half hour after this game. So my thing is, he shouldn't have had the cast on and then let it leak out in the media that he was nursing a hand injury during games 2, 3, and 4.
Did they? Because I didn't even know about it.
What do you mean? No. I'm saying let it leak out after the fact.
Oh, okay.
After you did that press conference, then you get the soft cast on, and then let some photos get snapped of you leaving the arena with the cast on.
Right.
And then let Dave McMenamin and Brian Windhurst and all those, everybody else that covers it, the finals that are there, then they can get some background on it and let them do their due diligence.
Right, exactly.
Courses, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll be like, oh, it'll be more excusable. He'll get a pass if it comes out that way. But when you done played 3 games and then you got this cast on and you showing it off, like, hey, I was hurt, guys.
Right. This is like that. Right.
And another thing, when I really think about it, it would have been more respectable if he hurt his hand because he punched J.R. Smith in the face or something.
Right.
Like you've heard the story, which I think has been that Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr
in the face.
The face.
The fight.
1996 or something like that. I don't know. Whenever.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like, everybody be like, J.R. Smith kind of had that coming after what he did.
Basically, yeah.
So I don't know. It says a lot about it. For me, it says a lot about his, how he takes the game mentally. And my biggest thing is, so your thing was the press conference. My biggest thing was the video footage in between.
Oh yeah, the with him
Regulation
and
and overtime.
right, the reaction.
Yes. So first of all, there was two things was really how he reacted. He acted as if he was a 19-year-old
Petulant child, bro. That's what he did. That's what
yeah,
he act like.
yeah. I'm like, dude, you still got 5 minutes. You the best player on the court right now. Rally your troops.
And I think
J.R. Smith
he failed to do so.
And whatever it is, however you communicate with J.R. Smith, let him know he need to cut that BS out and freaking pay attention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you ask dude if they had timeouts, he tell you, yeah, we had them, and then you just literally melt down right.
And it's like, dude, it's over and done with. Move on.
Right.
And to me, he didn't during that time in the overtime. To me, he didn't move on. You know, and that says a lot. I mean, look for him to be a professional, a 15-year NBA professional. You gotta forget the last play, right?
Right.
You gotta move on. And to me,
I don't think he moved on. Period.
If he punched the blackboard, after the game because he's still pissed off, he obviously didn't move on.
He didn't.
You know, so and another thing that bothered me was how nobody couldn't talk to him either. Nobody wanted to say anything to him during that timeout. Even Tyronn Lue kind of just let him do his thing. The assistant coaches wouldn't say nothing to him, and that was telling to me too. Like, can't nobody tell him nothing,
right?
You know, and I didn't like that video. I was kind of taken aback at that video, man. I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, if anybody on the court that shouldn't be giving up, it should be him, right?
Right.
You know, so that I guess that's what I'm trying to say in so many words.
Yeah, and that's why I guess, like we said before, people, you know, they're gonna do what they do when it comes to them two players. But that just gives them more fuel when you see stuff like that.
Right.
That gives them more fuel and more ammo to go towards why they feel the way they feel about him. Because it was uncalled for, to be honest with you. Like, dude. Well,
I mean, it's a new day, right? I mean, you know, with social media, everybody has a platform, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and you can express your thoughts and have these conversations. Every network has their platform. Every network has a the quick take show. Yep. You know,
everybody's got a blog.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got a site.
Yes. Everybody's now going live on social media to you know, or uploading their
yeah, it's like instant reaction now. We didn't have that back in the 90s.
Exactly.
It's instant reaction.
Exactly.
Like, could you imagine what 98 would have been like if there was social media? Could you just imagine the wildness that would have been, man? Just crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would have been doing on social media had it been around in 1998.
But yeah, I thought I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot all about the video. You're right. Like, that's another thing that's just like off-putting. Like you said, you just like, dude, you a leader. You the GOAT. You supposed to be the GOAT. The GOAT don't be coming unraveled like that. You don't be doing that, bro. Like you said, you tell the team, hey, give me the damn ball. This is my time.
Right.
Move out the way. Here we go. They can't guard me, dude. They can't guard me. And they couldn't. They had nobody that could guard him.
Well, they did defend him differently, especially after game one. They did defend them differently. They sent they sent more double teams toward him.
But the outcome was
to make the other players beat them. Yeah. And you know, obviously that did work out for them, but still, like, it was just telling for me, man. You know, so let's go ahead and move on from that clean sweep.
Yes, because boy, that was
So, but we'll stay in the NBA arena. Let's touch on the San Antonio Spurs situation with Kawhi Leonard that got
yeah.
to the media this last week.
Yeah, this is like Patriots like. You know what I'm saying? The Spurs are what the Patriots are to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Long run of success, 5 titles. So they could do no wrong, but now what you're hearing is they, there were some things that they did, you know what I'm saying? They threw the man under the bus. And I watched this all year. I knew this wasn't gonna go well because every time they was asking Greg Popovich about it, he basically was like, I don't know. You have to talk to him. I don't know. You have to talk to him. And then you had other veteran players coming out like, dude, we played with worse. The dude wasn't confident he got a second opinion. I don't think Kawhi did anything wrong. He did what any normal person would do. He got a second opinion, and he was like, whoop, boom, boom. Okay, I'm not going to play until I'm 100%. Until I'm 100%.
Right.
So I don't think he did anything wrong, me personally.
Well, I don't think he did anything wrong. What I didn't like from the Spurs was how basically the organization and the players kind of turned on him. I mean,
that's what I'm saying, right? Exactly. Like, dude,
I remember Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, making comments to the press.
That's what I was talking about.
And apparently there was a team meeting when the team had approached him and was like,
when are you coming back?
Exactly.
Right.
So I will say this is going to be interesting to see how all this plays out because, San Antonio is I'm going to say a smart, stubborn organization.
Right.
And what I mean by that is, yes, you've leaked out. Yes, my pervert destination is the LA Lakers, but he can't dictate those terms.
No, right? they really have an advantage. All the cards.
Because what they're going to do, and that's what I'm saying. I don't even think Kawhi Leonard is going to be moved during the offseason unless San Antonio gets the deal that they want.
Right.
Right.
But for years they've been known as the team. They've been known to have players that are like, hey, it's me. I'm all about the team. Blah 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 blah. That's only gonna work for so long, bro. Eventually, you're gonna have to pay people, and I think that's what the deal is too. You want to get paid too. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that they pay their players like everybody else pays their players. You feel me?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do, dude. It's with the salary cap. You have to spend so much money.
You do, but what I'm saying is, I think a lot of them players are taking less, bro. I know they pay them, but I don't think you never hear about them throwing out these monster mega deals for people, though. You feel me? If you look at their track record.
Derek, the only monster mega deals you're going to see is free agent signings. They
don't do that typically. That's what I'm saying.
They free agent last year was Rudy Gay. They gave Rudy Gay a 2-year deal, which he opted out, by the way. So, okay, yes, dude, they're in the middle of the pack as far as salary, right? LaMarcus Aldridge makes $21 million this season that just completed.
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard's at 18. Paul Gasol's at 16. Tony Parker is at 15. Patty Mills is at 10. Danny Green is at 10.
Okay.
Right? So obviously they traded for LaMarcus 3 seasons ago, right? 2 or 3 seasons ago. Yeah. And they must have gave him some sort of extension because when he's going to make 22 next year, then 26 the next year after that, right?
Right.
Kawhi's scheduled to make $20 million next year, and he has a player option for the following year for $21 million. Now, when you got people like Manu Ginobili, who takes a pay cut, who's only making $2.5 million this year and next season, obviously he was somebody that decided to take a pay cut to stick around, right?
Yeah. Twilight of his career. Obviously, he
Duncan took some discounts, right? Near the end, right? Okay. But the notion that they don't play their players, I don't think that's accurate. I mean, we're not talking about somebody who's at the bottom of the salary cap as far as all the other teams. I mean,
but who are paying? The people that you just named off that they're paying.
Okay.
First of all, they're aging and they're old. They're not what they were. Rudy Gay, really?
Well, he was a free agent.
I know, but did he do anything for him?
No, he came off the bench. But the point is, he was a free agent signee that they gave $16 million to last year. The previous offseason. He was signed as he was supposed to have been a bench player. He's supposed to come off the bench.
Dude, in fact,
that's good. That's to me, that's good money coming off the bench in San Antonio.
And then he opted out. Where is he now? Does anybody know?
He's opted out. He can sign with whoever he wants after July 1st.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, which, I mean, obviously he feels that he can probably get more money and probably, be a starter somewhere. I would imagine that's the only reason why he opted out. But, I mean, they got Kyle Anderson is a restricted free agent, right?
Yeah.
So, who knows how they're going to treat him? DeJounte Murray must have been a second-round draft pick. Looks like he's still under a rookie contract, right? He's going to make $1.5 million next year. So, I mean, yeah, they do have some cheap parts. I'm not going to lie about that, but I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys making over $10 million. And 2 of them scheduled next year to be 20 mil or more. Paul Gasol, come on. He's a shadow of himself. I mean, and here it is. He's scheduled to make almost 17 mil next year. Wow.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. So I like I said, so I don't agree with that part. I just know that they're a stubborn organization. As far as, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't even think they're going to trade Kawhi to a Western Conference team. I really feel like they're going to, they don't want to see him. And they're not going to want to put him, you think they're going to let him go to the Lakers and then the Lakers
see him 4 times a year, whatever it is.
And then because the Lakers has the ability to sign 2 max guys. They can get Kawhi Leonard and let's just say Paul George, because both those guys are LA guys that's made it known that they would like to go back home, right?
Right.
So, and they can be cute and move some people and even get a 3rd guy. So
move, I wonder though.
San Antonio is not going to want to help facilitate that.
Nope, and they probably won't.
So I think if he gets traded, it's going to be to the Eastern Conference.
Like you think they would trade him to a Boston type of team or no?
Yeah, Boston has the assets. Boston tried to trade for him before the deadline, the trade deadline back in February.
I just, dude, I think it's too bad for him to go back. I don't even think they would be able to repair that, bro.
I'm not saying it's going to be repaired. I'm just telling you.
I know.
They're only going to trade him. It's going to be to their benefit. They're not going to just.
Yeah, they ain't going to help.
They're not going to panic and just go, okay, let's get rid of this. He wants out. Let's go ahead and move on from this. They're going to wait until the 12th hour till they can get the best deal possible that benefits them.
Right. And
I just think they're really going to go, we're not trading you to somebody in the Western Conference. We don't, why would you do that and have to I mean, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't trade him to in the same conference because you may that can come back to haunt you.
Well, they probably will come back to haunt them because they're definitely not the team that they were, even with him.
Right.
You know, they're older. So could you imagine?
Looking back on it, comparing this to last offseason when said player wanted to be traded. And he gets traded to a conference opponent that you played in the Eastern Conference Finals. Isn't that right?
Are we speaking of?
Didn't Cleveland play Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals the previous year as well? I believe so, right?
They did. They did.
So that was a mistake right there. It's a good thing he was hurt.
Yeah, it really was.
If he was healthy, you might have regretted it.
Heck yeah, you dodged a bullet.
Right? So my thing is, and they hurry up and traded him well before the season started. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is San Antonio will not proceed that way. They're not going to panic and go, all right, well, this is a good deal. Let's go ahead and move on from this. We don't want this to linger, blah, 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 blah. They're going to say, no, we're going to wait. Right. And here it is, if he doesn't play or however that works out, they'll figure it out. They're just going to do what's best for them. They're not just going to go and say, all right, the Lakers is offering us XYZ. That's where you want to go. I mean, let's.
Yeah, they ain't finna hand him, give him away.
Kyrie, controlled where he went because Boston wasn't on his list of teams he wanted to go to.
Right.
I'm saying what happened was Boston dangled a lottery, a potential lottery pick out to him, and they got real giddy at looking for that pick. Hoping that Brooklyn would be one of the worst teams in the league, and they would be holding on to a top 4 pick. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't turn out that way. It turned out to be number 8. So I just see this being dragged out a lot longer than what it already is. Yeah,
it will be. It will be.
But if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong and he's moved right before or right when free agency starts, it will make free agency very, very interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, it will. You think your boy gonna go to LA, Brian?
I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, nobody knows what he's thinking, right? Except him and his
immediate family,
people, and his family and whatnot, right? But my whole thing is, if he leaves Cleveland, he has to pretty much duplicate the reason why he left Cleveland the first time around, and that was what was almost a sure thing, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna say almost because on paper it looked like a sure thing. Him teaming up with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, they get the right pieces around them, and they was supposed to win titles every year. Well, they was 50-50 on those 4 years, right?
Yeah.
But at least they got to the dance
4 times.
4 times, right?
Yeah.
So it was almost. That's why I say almost a sure thing, right?
Yeah.
So I just don't think you're going to get that sure thing going to the Western Conference.
Oh, you won't. Not as long as the Warriors are right. Not as long as the Warriors are who they are.
So I that's why I don't see LA being a destination for him. I'm not saying he won't leave because the way that team looked the way he has to carry that team, and now I'm going to defend LeBron. He should not have to carry in year 15. He shouldn't have to carry the team like he's required to carry the team.
Agreed.
The way
I
he
will agree with that.
Team in round one, they swept in round two, so it wasn't really being carried. And the team did play well at stretches in the Boston series, but we all know he had that. Okay, James Harden can shoot 2 of 19. Mm-hmm. And his team still wins a game against Golden State.
Not LeBron, though. He can't afford to do that.
Well, he can't do that. The team isn't that good. That's my point. So, but if I told you, if you didn't see it happen, and I told you that James Harden's going to shoot 19 for this game, you're going to be like, oh, they're going to lose it. I mean, they're supposed to lose, right?
Right.
So for them to win that game, for that best player to have a horrendous shooting night and they still win a game, that says a lot about the team.
Pretty much.
If LeBron shoots 40% from the field, they're done. They're probably losing by 10 points or more.
Right.
So to me, what I'm trying to say is, I think that LeBron is Cleveland's kind of a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at that cap situation and you look at the pieces how that team is presently constructed, he's just able to keep a lid on the dumpster, and we don't always see is smoke coming from out of it, right?
Right.
You know, so I don't blame him if he leaves. I just don't know where that sure thing is.
I don't think there is one.
Yeah. Well, I think there is one, but I think it's very, very unlikely.
Boston.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that happening though. I don't even want to go too far into that. But I just don't know if he could do that. But I think that's the only sure bet.
I think Kyrie would have big issues with that.
Okay. If that was to happen, I don't think Kyrie would be there.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I think if I was them, if LeBron was willing to come to Boston, I would trade Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving for a center.
Who though? Who's out there?
I would just okay. I don't know. Well, I would get a real legitimate center because their starting center for that series, their last series was Aaron Baines.
Yeah.
Which isn't saying much. Right. Because Al Horford's really a power forward. So there's people you can trade for that are I mean, you got Marc Gasol. Memphis got to be in rebuilding mode, right?
Yeah, because they already got rid of Zebo.
Yeah, so there's Marc Gasol out there. I can't think of anybody else that would be necessarily on the trading block, but I think that there's a center to be traded for. I believe that, and like I said, it's Aaron Baines who was a starting center in the Eastern Conference Finals. So all they got to do is get somebody that's above average, right?
Right.
Is all I'm saying. Because you do know the highest paid player on that team currently is Gordon Hayward, right?
Yes.
At $30 million.
Yes.
So, and Kyrie is the third highest at $18 million. So, Kyrie's probably going to have a problem playing with LeBron again because that's why he left Cleveland in the first place.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. That deal don't make sense.
And then you get rid of Gordon to give you some sort of cap relief since you got LeBron.
Right.
So you trade them to you trade them to Phoenix for some draft picks and whatever they draft. Whatever they draft first overall. If they draft that big man, give us that big man and a pick next year, and whatever else they may have this appealing on their team. You get Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving. You get two All-Stars. Actually, I don't even think Gordon Hayward's an All-Star yet. I mean, I know he's a 7-year veteran, and he may have one All-Star appearance under his belt, maybe.
Right.
So that may be a stretch calling him a All-Star. But his last year in Utah, he did average 22 points a game. So yeah, it's definitely something that it's possible. I just don't know if he.
I don't think it's I don't even think it's likely though.
Well, if he does it, if he leaves Cleveland, he's clearly in mercenary mode, right? He's in. I'm trying to get all the titles I can get before I leave, which I'm sure that's why he played the game anyway. That's probably his mode to begin with. But you know, you're now putting on another jersey. You've already wore 2 different jerseys. Now you're gonna put on a 3rd jersey, right?
But with the mileage and the carrying he has to do, I'm wondering how much longer he really has. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the best of them don't escape time. You know what I mean? Like, so I wonder, with all the carrying of them that he had to do physically, how much more of that can he, you know? Well, obviously, if he goes somewhere else, that's probably going to be the caveat. Like, dude, I can't be doing this. I can't be having to basically drag people to the finals.
Right? Yeah. I mean, because that's what he's going to be doing in Cleveland. And I think that says a lot. You know, going back to how he is mentally.
Yeah.
He plays more confident when he don't have to do all the heavy lifting, in my opinion.
But I'll go back to something
when he was in Miami playing with D Wade, he was he played more confidently.
Right.
When he came to Cleveland, playing with Kyrie, he played with a certain level of confidence.
Yeah.
To me, this year in Cleveland, he at times, most of the time, he panicked a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah. And like you said, now going back to something you mentioned, they did a terrible job with the picks that they were granted.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about why he was gone, right?
You're right. They did a terrible job.
Okay. It's not even terrible. It's worse than terrible. Okay. LeBron was gone for 4 years. The 4 drafts that were conducted, the four drafts when LeBron wasn't there, the first pick was Kyrie Irving, which wasn't their pick. They got that pick from the Clippers,
right?
Because another idiot owner did something stupid, right? He wanted to undo a signing that he didn't like, and he just wanted the dude out of town, and gave up an unprotected lottery pick that ended up being number 1. So if it wasn't for another idiot owner / organization, well, I'm just going to say owner because they said that it was all his doing making that trade. And that was Donald Sterling, by the way, who's not even the owner anymore. So they get Kyrie Irving with that pick. That same draft, their pick was the 4th overall pick in that draft, number 4, and they drafted Tristan Thompson. Right?
Right.
Okay. The next year, they draft Dion Waiters. I believe 4th overall. Right? So that's draft number 2. Draft number 3, they draft Anthony Bennett, first overall. The draft after that, which is the last draft before LeBron came back, which took place 3 weeks before LeBron came back, they draft Andrew Wiggins. Now, Wiggins is a starter in the NBA, but he's not even an all-star. So to me, they screwed the pooch on those drafts. You had the first pick 3 out of those 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
The first pick,
mm-hmm.
and all you had was Kyrie Irving, in my opinion.
That's terrible. That's god awful. That's, like you said, that's beyond terrible.
I mean, come on, freaking Golden State is drafting Draymond Green in the 2nd round, dude. So
and they have no assets to move. They are not flexible. All because they couldn't take care of business while he was gone.
Right.
And now they're in the hole. And if I were him, boy, I would run from that like the plague. Like I wouldn't even look back. And I don't think anybody would hate on him for doing so this time.
There's gonna be people, especially depends on where he goes.
How can you though? Honestly, in good conscience.
Because that's what people do, man. That's what haters do. They find something wrong with everything you do.
Even I, and I'm not.
Dude, if he stay in Cleveland, he's gonna take criticism. He's gonna be under criticism for staying. It will probably be the least amount of criticism, but he's going to get criticism for staying.
See, I think he's gonna get a pass wherever he goes this time. I don't think, dude, because if you're objective and not a hater, most people aren't, but you will get the people that are objective. And watch what he had to do.
He will get a pass if he go to LA.
I think he'll get a pass anywhere he goes.
Because I think
unless it's Golden State, like if it's Golden State or something crazy like that.
If he goes to Golden State or Boston, he's gonna take all kind of heat because you're screwing up the league at that point.
Yeah. Oh, I think they would beat Golden State now if he went to Boston.
The only way he can get the Golden State is Golden State's gonna have to let go Clay and or Draymond.
Draymond, right.
And probably Iguodala. You know what I'm saying? And they just gonna have to, give it a shot with Curry, Durant, and LeBron. I just don't. I don't see that.
No.
I just think he'll get. I think he would get a pass in LA if he went to the Lakers and no other max player necessarily joined up.
But what would they have to get rid of to get him?
Who? The Lakers?
Nobody, right?
No,
they could sign him.
The Lakers have cap space for I believe for 2 max guys this season. If they'll have to make some moves for a 3rd guy, but I believe they can get 2 max guys, clearly signing them outright. So it'll be interesting to see, what he does decide to do. I know Cleveland fans shouldn't be mad at him.
Nah, they won't be. I think the sensible ones wouldn't be. He got him a title. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean
he did what he said he was gonna do when he got there, when he came back.
I mean, and just this year, him dragging that team to the finals, I think was and how he did it. I mean he did it all by himself in that Indiana series.
Oh man, did he ever? Did he ever?
And I feel like he put some nails in the coffin with Toronto as well.
Oh man.
And the way he was playing game 1, I mean, he was doing it. He was.
Dude, you shouldn't have lost that game. You dropping 51 You almost had a triple double. He might have had a triple double in game one. I don't remember. But you dropped 51 and whatever the rest of his stat line was at that game, and you still lose. Man. That team, boy.
Yeah.
That team around you, bro.
So we'll definitely we'll chop up more as the draft. The draft is coming up. Actually, is the draft this Thursday?
Is it? I believe
21st.
it is. 21st?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Thursday because Luke Cage come out Friday.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Is that season 2, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's say that for the end. So let's all right. So let's get off NBA. Let's talk about NFL Hall of Fame inductee.
The crybaby himself. Well, I feel like that he had Ray Lewis and other people calling. We're talking about Terrell Owens. For those that don't know, he has refused to come to the ceremony.
Well, he didn't refuse. He's
not coming. He's not coming.
Right.
All because he wasn't the first base. This complaint that he wasn't a first ballot and he had to wait so long. Is that what his complaint is?
No, it's not really a complaint. He just his official statement is he just rather spend his time somewhere else. Is what basically what it boils down to. At least that's what came out of his
people,
his whether publicist or if I don't know if that's a quote from his mouth himself, but it's something along those lines.
Right.
I just decided that's not how I want to celebrate my Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, I think it might. Yeah,
but my thing is he was actually kicking and screaming because he's just now getting in this long. So I've never heard of a living NFL player declining the Hall of Fame.
Me neither.
Enshrinement.
Me neither.
I just never heard of it,
Me neither.
And I just think that's I don't know. I just don't understand why.
I don't either, really.
I've heard there's speculation that apparently he's not going in sponsored by a team. Apparently.
Oh wow! I did not know that.
So apparently there you basically if you're going in the Hall of Fame, it costs some money because you basically have to throw yourself a party.
Right, you have to throw your own party
that weekend because it's not just one day, right? Is it a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday, or just a Saturday and Sunday? Well, because they actually enshrine you before the game, like that Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe it's a 3-day thing where you have parties, they have these dinners, and I guess they have guests come and I guess they roast the inductees and
Yeah. But I think, dude, it may be a week-long thing because when Baselli was up, they were there for the whole week. But that could also been because the Super Bowl was there too. I don't know.
No, what the Super Bowl is, that's when they announce who they're going to induct.
That's what it was. That's what I got mixed up. But, so it is only 3 days.
Yeah.
It is only 3 days.
So they're saying apparently that costs some money.
Yeah, and they got to pick up the tab on that.
And apparently, the team that sponsor you typically picks up the tab. And there's speculation that T.O. is still struggling financially. Like I said, there's speculation. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's what I heard. Listening to other sports programming that's a rumor that's out there. So
gotcha.
I don't know how true that is. I have no freaking clue. Right. But to me, I just think that I don't know. I just think for a player like Terrell Owens, who was a very good one of the best wide receivers ever, in my opinion, in the NFL. How dominant he was. I mean, he wasn't a Randy Moss, but Randy Moss just had some
freakish athletic ability,
exactly,
bro, and just tall,
you're separate,
just amazing.
Yeah. Then T.O. wasn't perfect, but he's definitely one of the top receivers.
The one thing you could not question was that dude gonna come to play?
Right.
He might have had issues with his teammates, and he might have had issues with a lot of different things in Dallas and in San Francisco. Or in Philly, but you could never question whether dude was gonna show up and play.
Right. So
a beast.
Yeah. I hope that he does in fact change his mind, and he does in fact participate in the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies.
Yeah.
I guess that week in August or that weekend in early August.
Right.
I mean, because he's just been such a controversial player,
Yeah.
And to me, this just adds more to it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like, okay, here it is. You getting the ultimate, honor, and you're making a controversy out of it by not showing up.
Right.
It's one thing when if they induct individuals who are deceased, right? And you usually have, I guess, somebody stand in their place, a family member or a close friend that was a former player, whatever. But I never heard of it. It may have happened before, I
don't think it has.
Okay, you might be right.
I've never heard of it before either. But but like when I heard that he was not doing it, I'm like, wow, really?
Well, and the thing is, I think I did hear that out of his mouth. He was on Fox Sports 1. I think he was on Colin Cowherd's show, I believe, last week, and he was questioned about it when he basically said he just rather celebrate it in another way. Is basically what it boiled down to, and he spent half the time talking to him about how he could still play.
Yeah,
And I'm like, dude, you just got inducted in the Hall of Fame. You 40-something years old. I'm not.
Nobody finna sign you, bro.
I'm sure you probably could get out there and still catch some footballs. I don't know at what level, but that ship has sailed, man.
Very much so.
Even back when you was 37 years old, 3/4 of the league didn't want to have nothing to do with you,
right? Because
of the
craziness you put people through.
You know what I'm saying? The what they had to, the controversy you brought to a locker room,
Right.
That if you, I don't think he had issues in Buffalo, right? And I don't think he had issues in Cincinnati, but his first 3 stops, or his first 3 destinations, which was San Fran, Philly,
Dallas, and Philly.
Right. By the time you left Dallas, you had a very nice reputation as being divisive in the locker room.
Right.
So it was just funny because I listened to it and I was like, yeah, he looked like he probably still can get out there and play some ball, but it won't happen.
Right. Don't nobody want that in their locker room, man. First of all, don't nobody want to deal with that.
I thought that was
too.
Go ahead.
There's just too much attached to him. Too much baggage, man. As soon as you sign him,
Yeah, that's over and done with. That that ain't gonna happen. I believe he's 45 years old now.
Oh yeah, he ain't gonna get signed. Nobody gonna sign him.
But getting back to it, it's a head scratcher to me.
It is puzzling.
He's not gonna participate in the Hall of Fame ceremonies. That's crazy to me, but
it is.
Each his own, right?
Right.
So
following the OTAs real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, you been following any of the Jags OTAs or anybody's OTAs
No.
before they? Okay.
It doesn't mean nothing to me, man.
I followed a very small. I remember the last time we talked about this that I wasn't gonna follow nothing, but I really wasn't nothing to do one day, and I just kind of pulled up the site and started looking at stuff. It means nothing, but some of the players are looking really really good right now. You know what I'm saying? But they are gonna look good because they're not in any pads or anything like that. So I'm not hype over it either, but it's just good to see some semblance of football in the air again, kind of, sort of.
You know what I'm saying? It's really not even football to me, Derek. Football to me is August when you playing football.
Yeah,
in my opinion, all this no pads, throwing the football, catching the football. Everybody's supposed to look good in shorts.
True.
They're athletes. I'm not saying it's not necessary, but I don't think it's necessary to follow it. I don't think it
right. You wouldn't follow it like you follow training.
I don't think I guess what I'm trying to say is everybody should pass the eye test in OTAs.
Right.
True. Now I'm not saying some people don't pass the test, but I mean, I don't recall ever. I mean, maybe some quarterback rookie who didn't look that good, but I don't think nobody ever gets a failing grade in OTA.
Right.
You're like, oh, he looks horrible.
Horrible, right?
You may get some of that on sports talk radio, but
because they show is killing Blake.
Anything that's actual television or better, or how it's covered, I think, especially from mainly being covered from that market's local coverage is the best way to do it.
Right.
I mean, so yeah, I don't follow OTAs. I just don't find it that interesting. I mean, if I see a scroll, I mean, the biggest thing I get from OTAs is if there was an injury, if somebody got injured and they're no longer, they're lost. What was the one dude? The tight end for San Diego, Hunter Henry.
Yeah, he's gone, and they're talking to Antonio Gates.
Right. I mean, I catch those little tidbits, and I did see a scroll on a network where the no-shows, how Aaron Donald didn't show up. I think was Brady a no-show?
Not to OTAs.
Oh, okay. There was.
I think he showed the OTAs.
Okay, I thought he was a no-show.
But he may not have been. I know Gronk was there because they talked to Gronk.
Okay. So, I mean, I may catch that, but that's to the extent of that. I don't actively dig up.
I didn't either, but I just looked at it real briefly, you know what I'm saying, just to see what was going on. So I would kind of be in the loop in case, we had to talk about it or something.
Yeah, I just, when it comes to, what these teams are going to do, talk to me in August. Right. And I'm a little, I don't even get that too hyped up with the preseason. I mean,
dude, in a way, I kind of just wish that'd go away. Honestly, just whittle it down to a couple of games.
Well, it's necessary. I'm just not paying that much attention to it. Talk to me in September.
It's kind of like baseball standing. Like people talk about that early. Like they start talking about, oh, well, they're first. Come to me in July, after the All-Star break. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you start talking to me after July. Because that's when you know what kind of team you're gonna have.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. But before we go, so you just informed me. I had no idea that I guess season 2 of Luke Cage comes out Friday,
yeah,
on Netflix.
Yep, there's already a couple of trailers out on YouTube that I looked at. It's gonna be dope, man. I can't wait. Go ahead.
So my only concern is I did watch season one and I did like season one. So I am looking forward to season two. But the other series in that Netflix universe, that version of the Marvel universe, Jessica Jones, Daredevil,
Oh, you talk
Iron
about
Fist. I'm not caught up on those
the
series.
Avengers?
No, that's not the
Not
event.
the Avengers,
The
duh.
Defender. The
The
Defender.
Defenders, yeah, the Defenders. Duh, the Avengers,
Yeah,
Lord, that's
and that's another series, The Defender. So I'm behind on all those. So I'm a little concerned if I'm going to be missing something. So um, I may try to catch
word
up.
is it's not gonna really tie in
No,
because it's gonna be Luke on his own with some Iron Fist involvement. You know what I'm saying? Iron Fist is gonna be in season two. Um, but as far as the Defenders goes, I don't think there's gonna be a tie-in. From what I've been reading, there's not gonna really be much of a tie-in. You may get some,
okay.
some stuff, but it's only 8 episodes. You should go check it out when you get a chance.
Which
It's
one's 8 episodes?
the Defenders.
I started The Defenders, and I don't. I think I might have got halfway through and lost track of it.
The one thing that I hope that they do this time that they are synonymous for not doing is drag the first few episodes out. They did that in The Punisher. They did that pretty much everywhere else, but I think they learned their lesson. It took forever for the things to start heating up in Luke Cage and some of their other Marvel stuff. That's the only complaint that I have about Marvel stuff on Netflix. That's the only complaint.
I agree. So
Like, if you watch The Defenders, it didn't get heated up till after episode 4, really.
okay. Yeah, see, I have to backtrack and see where I left off at because I don't even remember where I left off on The Defenders, and I know I didn't finish it.
Okay.
Because oh yeah, see, so one of my problems, one of the reasons why um that I was lost during Defenders was the Elektra character in Defenders. I didn't watch
You got to watch Daredevil season 2.
yes, I did not get the season 2 of Daredevil, so I was a little like, okay, what's this about? I knew it had something to do with, must have been something I didn't see in Daredevil, but that was one thing that kind of was like, okay, these things kind of tie in and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
but I did like season 1 of Luke Cage, so I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, I want to see how this bionic arm works with Misty and then Colleen Wing and all them gonna be. I think that's gonna be great, man.
Okay, I think you just gave me a spoiler, but oh well.
No, that's out there. That's out there.
What do you mean? So that happened?
Oh shoot!
That's what I'm saying.
Shoot, was she in Defenders? Was Misty in Defenders?
Who?
Misty Knight, the cop. Was she in the Defenders? Yeah, she was in the. Ooh,
oh, you talking about the cop from Luke Cage?
Yes.
Yes. I believe she was. Yes.
Yeah. So you gonna have to watch that because, yeah, I probably did leak a little something, but
okay.
yeah. So.
Yeah. So I'll definitely check that out. So
yeah.
Anything else coming out on Netflix?
Nothing earth shattering. Kimmy Schmidt's last season came out on the 30th of, I want to say, May. But other than that, man, just documentaries and I don't know if we touched on 7 Seconds. Did we touch on that in any of our pods? We did. Okay.
We broke that one down in one of our earlier podcasts.
And now I'm kind of gonna start watching this documentary called Flint Town. That's what I'm working on soon. That's what I'm working on soon.
And that's on Netflix as well?
Yeah, that's on Netflix as well.
Okay.
It's about the relationship between Flint, Michigan, and its authority figures like the city councilmen and the mayors and the cops. It's very interesting. I've watched a couple of episodes. It's really good so far.
Man, you know what movie I watched, man, that I didn't like?
What?
HBO's Paterno.
Joe Paterno?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. I guess I
It's,
go on demand and watch it.
it's got Al Pacino playing Joe Paterno.
Who played him?
Al Pacino.
Really?
Yeah.
Strange to me.
So that's really what attracted me to that, and being played, with them having him playing Joe Paterno.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it was kind of disgusting, man.
Seriously? Well, I might.
Yeah, because it don't let Joe Paw off the hook, no way, shape, or form, man. Like,
should they?
No, I don't. I was just curious if they were gonna.
You thought they was gonna throw a softball, kind of like, hey, this is how.
And, basically, man, he just, well, not just him, but the heads of the university just thought football was more important than what that dude
protecting them kids, man. That's,
yeah, man. It was interesting because his kids and his wife was looking at him like, what the heck? Like, they're like, Dad, you didn't know this?
Man, he knew.
And he's like, well, I heard something.
So then you knew.
And I told such and such, and
right. They didn't do nothing.
And I didn't know what he was gonna do, dude, it was freaking crazy.
Dude, now I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm sure it's still up on HBO somewhere.
I remember when all that went down. I remember I didn't pay that much attention to it at first, and then when it started getting real, when it really picked up some traction, I just kind of followed the fallout, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. And when it got to the point where, but just to get, obviously this is a HBO's version of how it went down, which that doesn't mean it's necessarily how it went down, but I just gotta think, based on what I thought when it went down, I was like, okay, they obviously wanted to cover this up. They didn't want any black eyes surrounding their football program.
Right.
There. And that's clearly what that production depicts, is that they wanted it to go, they were letting it go away, because they didn't want the bad publicity.
Right.
And whatnot. And like I said, it's just kind of disgusting, man, to really think, to see a depiction of people actually thinking that way. Like it was like one of the funniest, I ain't gonna say funniest, but one of the most telling lines in that movie, which, I don't think is necessarily a spoiler, but the Joe Paterno's daughter is like, because Joe Paterno was like, well, he basically called his boss. He waited until Sunday night to call his boss. When McCreary come to him Friday night or Saturday morning to tell him what happened, he waits almost 2 days before he tells the next person. And he goes, I didn't want to ruin his weekend.
And I didn't want to ruin his weekend.
Joe Paterno's daughter says, well, you didn't think that kid's weekend got ruined?
Right.
And I was like, ooh. I was like,
right.
Yeah, dude, it was kind of, I don't know, it was pretty bad, man. I didn't like it. Like I'm not gonna recommend it as a good, like, oh, it was a great movie, because I don't think it was necessarily all that, but it was and even his wife, man, his wife was even questioning him. He was like looking at an old bowl game, and his wife come in the room and goes, "What are you watching?" She was like, "Which game is that?" He was like, "Oh, this is the Alamo Bowl." in whatever year. And she was like, "What's the one?" She goes, "What's the bowl game in what's the one in New Orleans?" And he was like, "The Sugar Bowl." She was like, "Yeah, the Sugar Bowl." She was like, "You remember we was in New Orleans in 1970 something, and the kids was in the pool, and you didn't want to get in the pool with the kids, so Jerry got in the pool with the kids."
Oh,
So she basically like, yeah, he was horse playing with our kids, our boys in the pool.
wow.
And it's like, I was like, and Joe Pa was looking like, I don't know what to say. I had no idea. I don't even remember that. It was just like, oh my word. I mean, he was definitely old at the time, right? I mean, he was 80 something years old. So like I said, it was just it was kind of bad. I was, I thought it was gonna be better than what it was, but it picks up like it basically is. It's all about that scandal, and whatnot. But it was pretty crazy, man. You know how there was a reporter who actually covered it and nobody paid her no attention. Like it was on the newspaper she worked for. I guess it was a local newspaper in Pennsylvania. Nobody picked it up until like 2 years later when something else came up. And they just talked about how all these parents, initially tried to say something and people was like ignoring them or trying to talk them out of it.
Yeah, that's crazy,
like,
man.
"Are you sure you want to do this?" And they're like, "Yeah, he freaking
Touch my child.
you raped my kid," And they're like, "Well, why don't you take the weekend and think about it first?"
Why don't you?
Yeah, it was pretty bad, dude.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. Then.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It sounds like that's gonna make me mad.
Yeah, when I turned it off, I was like, yeah, I didn't feel right even watching it.
Wow.
So, but anywho, man. But yeah, I'll definitely check out Luke Cage, and hopefully we can just do one day. We can do a pod just specifically on that series.
Well, we probably may have to with this being the dead zone. Maybe our next podcast.
You said the dead zone,
Dude, this is the dead zone.
okay.
Ain't nothing happening, man.
Well, hopefully I can. I'll see if I can binge watch it. Which that's what Netflix is notoriously good for, right?
Absolutely.
Whole season. I actually have a trial membership, a 30-day trial to Hulu, and apparently they release their series. They release one episode a week.
A week, yeah. Certain ones they do, yeah, like Chance and stuff like that. Real quick, did you keep up with the AT&T merger? I mean, with the court ruling for AT&T and Time Warner?
Yeah, loosely because I follow the stock market.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And that's AT&T Time Warner, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm aware of that taking place next week, and apparently, I guess the judge approved it, but
it did.
So it's just crazy how these companies just merge and get bigger,
Yeah, and then they talk.
Sprint and T-Mobile are trying to merge as well, right? You there? I might have lost you, Derek, because I can't hear you. I don't know if you're talking or not. But yeah. So Sprint and T-Mobile are scheduled to are trying to do a merge, and I just think it's crazy. All these companies just keep getting bigger and bigger, and heck, it limits our options. So I think it hurts the consumers.
I just missed everything you just said, man. It
what?
was totally. I don't know if we froze, if my end froze.
Okay, maybe it was your end, maybe because I mean, yeah, because you just went blank on me. So what was the last thing you heard me say?
Nothing.
Oh,
so I was like, hello.
So yeah, so did you know that T-Mobile and Sprint are trying to merge as well?
Yeah, I think they are going to merge, but yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
To me, like I said, all I was saying was I think that hurts the consumers in the long run. It gives us limited options. I mean, if you got the third and fourth market, or the third or fourth company in a market merging, it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And heck, even with cable, I mean, if AT&T and Time Warner merge, that's AT&T already owns
Direct TV.
That's crazy. That's freaking crazy to me. So if it wasn't for me, loosely following the stock market, when I'm looking for, I buy stocks and companies via Robinhood.
Yeah, I think you were telling me about that.
Yeah, free stock trading. I actually, little research I do, I come across little things like that, little research I do with that. So,
okay.
So yeah, so that's basically about it today. So we'll see what happens if it does officially go through, and how that's going to affect how us consumers will get our how they jack up prices on us, or however that ends up working out for us.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be huge, man. Like that's gonna be wild.
I mean, because it covers, it's not just cable television, also covers your ISP provider as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a okay, well, I'm Spectrum. That used to be, I think it used to be Time Warner, or maybe they merged. I don't know. I don't know where Spectrum fits into all that, but it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, dude. Well, awesome getting together with you again.
All right, man. Good catching up. This was a good long one because we have been on here for about a week or so. So this was a good way to catch up.
I think it's been like 9-10 days for us. So
yeah.
So yeah, we'll hopefully we'll get back together and try to touch on Luke Cage.
All right, man. I look forward to it.
Hold on. Do you plan on binge watching it Friday?
Probably. Probably.
Well, hopefully. How many episodes is it?
Usually about 13.
Dang. Okay. Well,
it might be tough for me to do that because Isaac is out of school for the summer, so I may have to break it down into a couple of days because he's gonna be So I may watch a few.
Hopefully, I can watch it, and then we can go ahead and that'll give us we can probably do a podcast on it and break it down.
True. Look forward to it, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Thanks for tuning in, YouTube. Remember, subscribe to the channel, that little red button below this video. Click that. Also, hit the like button. Leave a comment, and you'll, if you hit the subscribe button, you'll be notified next time we go live or upload any content, so you won't miss an episode.
All right, guys.
Signing off. Take care.
All right, man. Take care, y'all.